Have you ever dreamed of ordering dinner in fluent French, chatting with your grandkids in Spanish, or even reading a novel in Italian? If you're thinking, "That sounds wonderful, but I'm too old to learn a new language," I'm here to tell you that it's never too late. In fact, research shows that learning a new language can be one of the most rewarding challenges you take on after 60. Today, we're diving into how to learn a new language after 60. Because age is no barrier to curiosity, connection, and growth. Why does this matter so much for seniors? Well, learning a new language isn't just about impressing others at dinner parties, it's about enriching your life in ways you might not expect. Studies suggest that language learning stimulates the brain, improving memory, focus, and even problem-solving skills. For example, a study published in Neurology found that bilingual seniors tend to experience slower cognitive decline compared to those who speak only one language. Beyond the science, though, there's something deeply fulfilling about mastering a new skill. Whether you want to connect with family members who speak another language, travel more confidently, or simply keep your mind sharp, learning a language opens doors you didn't know existed. Let's start with one of the most important steps, setting realistic goals. When you're learning a language later in life, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and aim too high, like expecting to become fluent in 3 months. While enthusiasm is wonderful, setting achievable milestones will help you stay motivated and avoid frustration. For instance, instead of saying, "I want to be fluent," try aiming for something like, "I want to introduce myself and ask for directions in Spanish by the end of the month." These smaller wins build confidence and keep you moving forward. One woman I spoke with, Margaret, decided she wanted to learn Italian before her dream trip to Tuscany. She started by focusing on basic phrases like greetings and ordering food, and when she finally sat down at a cafe in Florence, she felt a sense of pride she'll never forget. Another key step is choosing the right resources. With so many apps, books, and online courses available, it can feel overwhelming to decide where to start. The good news is, there's something for everyone. Apps like Duolingo or Babbel are great for beginners because they make learning fun and interactive. If technology isn't your thing, audiobooks, phrasebooks, or local classes might be a better fit. For example, John, a retired engineer, joined a weekly conversation group at his community center to practice German. Not only did he pick up vocabulary quickly, but he also made friends who shared his passion for languages. The key is finding tools that match your learning style and pace. Now, let's talk about building consistency into your routine. You've probably heard the saying, "Practice makes perfect." And while perfection isn't the goal, regular practice is essential. Think about how you naturally incorporate other habits into your day, whether it's drinking your morning coffee or taking a walk. And consider weaving language learning into those moments. Maybe you listen to a podcast during breakfast or review flashcards while waiting for your tea to steep. Consistency doesn't have to mean hours of study. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can lead to noticeable progress over time. Now that we've covered setting realistic goals, choosing the right resources, and building consistency into your routine, let's dive into 2 more essential steps for learning a new language after 60. Embracing mistakes as part of the process and immersing yourself in real-world experiences. These steps are all about creating a mindset and environment that make language learning enjoyable, effective, and sustainable. Before we dive in, if you find this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll never miss out on more tips to make life a little easier and safer. Let's start with embracing mistakes. If you've ever hesitated to speak up because you're worried about getting it wrong, you're not alone. Many seniors feel self-conscious when starting a new language, fearing they'll sound silly or embarrass themselves. But here's the truth. Making mistakes is one of the fastest ways to learn. Research shows that our brains retain information better when we correct errors rather than avoid them altogether. Think of every mistake as a stepping stone toward fluency. It's proof that you're trying, and each correction brings you closer to mastery. Take Maria, for example, a retired teacher who decided to learn French in her late 60s. At first, she was terrified to practice speaking with others, but once she realized people appreciated her effort more than her perfection, she started having fun with it. She even jokes now about how her broken sentences often lead to laughter and deeper connections with native speakers. One practical way to reframe mistakes is to focus on communication over correctness. Instead of aiming for grammatical perfection, prioritize expressing yourself clearly, even if it means using simple words or broken sentences. Native speakers will almost always appreciate your effort and help fill in the gaps. For instance, if you're struggling to find the exact word for restaurant, try describing it instead, a place where people eat food. You might be surprised at how much you can communicate without mastering every detail. Next, let's talk about immersion, one of the most powerful tools for language learning. While traveling to a country where your target language is spoken is ideal, there are plenty of ways to immerse yourself without leaving home. Surrounding yourself with the language through music, movies, podcasts, or books helps train your ear and exposes you to natural speech patterns. For example, listening to a Spanish-language radio station while gardening or watching a French film with subtitles can make learning feel less like work and more like entertainment. One gentleman I know, Robert, started his Italian journey by cooking traditional recipes while following along with YouTube videos in Italian. Not only did he pick up vocabulary related to food and cooking, but he also discovered a love for Italian culture along the way. If you're ready to take immersion a step further, consider finding opportunities to interact with native speakers. Language exchange programs, online conversation platforms like Tandem or HelloTalk, and local cultural events are great ways to connect with others who share your interests. For example, Susan joined an international coffee meetup group where participants spoke a mix of English and Spanish. Over time, she found herself picking up phrases effortlessly just by being part of the conversation. Immersion doesn't have to mean jumping into deep waters. It's about gradually surrounding yourself with the language in ways that feel natural and enjoyable. Of course, some seniors might worry about feeling overwhelmed or intimidated by these activities. That's completely normal, and it's okay to start small. Even dedicating 5 minutes a day to listening to a song or repeating phrases from a movie can help build familiarity over time. The key is to approach immersion with curiosity rather than pressure. Think of it as exploration rather than a test. Now, let's cover the final step in our guide, celebrating your progress and staying motivated. Learning a new language is a journey, not a race, and taking time to acknowledge how far you've come can make all the difference in keeping your enthusiasm alive. After all, every word you learn, every phrase you master, and every conversation you hold, no matter how short, is a victory worth celebrating. Let's talk about why celebrating progress matters so much. When you're learning something as complex as a new language, it's easy to focus on what you haven't mastered yet instead of appreciating what you have achieved. But here's the thing. Progress, no matter how small, deserves recognition. For example, maybe you successfully ordered coffee in Spanish for the first time or understood a song lyric without needing a translation. Those moments are milestones, and they deserve a little celebration, even if it's just treating yourself to your favorite dessert or sharing your win with a friend. One woman I spoke with, Linda, kept a language journal where she wrote down one thing she was proud of each week, whether it was memorizing 5 new words or having a brief chat with her neighbor in French. Looking back at her entries became a source of encouragement whenever she felt discouraged. Celebrating these small wins keeps you motivated and reminds you why you started this journey in the first place. Staying motivated also means finding ways to keep the process fun and meaningful. Ask yourself, why did you want to learn this language? Was it to connect with family members, travel more confidently, or simply challenge your brain? Reconnecting with your why can reignite your passion when motivation dips. For instance, if you're learning Italian because you dream of visiting Tuscany, try planning a virtual trip, watch videos of Florence, read blogs about local culture, or cook a traditional dish while practicing related vocabulary. These activities remind you of the bigger picture and make learning feel purposeful. Another way to stay inspired is to set periodic challenges for yourself. Maybe it's having a 5-minute conversation with a native speaker, writing a short paragraph about your day, or learning 10 new words each week. Breaking your larger goal into smaller, achievable tasks gives you a sense of accomplishment along the way. And don't forget to reward yourself when you hit those milestones. It could be as simple as enjoying a cup of tea while reflecting on your hard work or sharing your success with someone who cheers you on. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered, from setting realistic goals and choosing the right resources to embracing mistakes, immersing yourself in the language, and celebrating your progress. These steps form a roadmap to help you learn a new language with confidence and joy. Each habit builds on the last, creating a cycle of growth that keeps you engaged and excited about the process. Remember, learning a language isn't about perfection, it's about connection, curiosity, and discovery. Here's a specific action step you can take today. Write down one reason why you want to learn this language and one small goal you'd like to achieve in the next week. Whether it's mastering a few key phrases or listening to a podcast episode, committing to something tangible will give you clarity and momentum. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to fluency and to the countless rewards that come with it. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. Your willingness to embrace new challenges at this stage of life is truly inspiring. If you found these tips helpful, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more content designed to support seniors like you, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear which step resonates most with you. Together, we can build a community focused on thriving at every age. Remember, learning a language isn't just about words, it's about opening yourself up to new experiences, cultures, and connections. With patience, persistence, and a little bit of fun, you have the power to unlock a world of possibilities. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, here's to living well and speaking boldly.